Ooh, got it.
Got it. Got it. Are you ready to get covered in film? Because we're coming right now. Tonight, get ready to defend your life. We cover Albert Brooks' 1991 romantic comedy, Defending Your Life. Sorry, I kind of phoned that one in.
Oh wait, not Lost in America? I watched
No, not
Lost in
Lost in America.
America.
No, no. All right, so
Shit.
fuck Ben. Ben, you can just log out now. So Russ, we're doing
See you
we're doing
guys.
a show tonight.
When
Oh wait, I'm
when you
recording. I can't. Don't worry about. I'm just gonna paint while you guys talk. Don't worry.
when
Yeah,
you use more than 5% of your brain, you don't want to be on Earth. Believe me.
yeah. This is verified.
That's the line you should
I
have
can
gone
see
with.
it.
I mean, you've got your opinions, but for our new viewers that are joining us tonight, because we bring new viewers every week. Let's introduce the Covered in Film crew.
Oh,
Don't.
come on. We're doing an intro.
Hey,
Bring it,
new
every
viewers.
yeah. Pay attention.
To
Pay
our
attention.
producer and to our tech support and to no, it's just us three.
Makeup, wardrobe, craft services. Couldn't do it
You guys
without you.
done? You guys
Those
done? You guys
steel cut
done?
oatmeals with blueberries. Keeps me coming back.
Yeah, thank you, cafeteria team. You're
You
the
guys
reason
done?
I show up.
Janitorial. Don't forget janitorial.
I
First
like the
on the
lady.
list tonight.
Custodians, dick.
He had a cameo on season 6, episode 15 of South Park. Look it up. He's the first person documented to move back, but his Google skills easily make you think he's got a big brain. It's Russell, the Googler Craigie.
What
Say,
episode?
say
Season
hi,
6,
Russ.
episode
No,
what?
you can watch it again. You can what you can
Yeah,
you
you're
can
gonna
watch
have
it
No.
to.
again and look it up then.
Was it
Along with all of our crew.
was it
Next up in the
episode 5?
rotation, when it comes to movies, his definitely using 100% of his brain. He's only got 3 days to defend, but he's probably been here before.
Oh,
Ben, the substitute defender Hanson.
nice, nice. I've got nothing to add.
No,
It's a
we're
man of few
I don't
words.
have anything to review right now. And finally, the judges always give me a 10. They didn't even give him a day count because it was too many. And he's always sent back. Joe, the bearded baritone, Morgan, bringing you the show tonight. Uh, Russ, is your first time seeing it? Rate it
Mhm.
and grade it, baby.
Um, when you picked this movie and I Googled it and looked at the cover, I was like, oh, we're watching an old romantic comedy. Great. And then I started watching it, and like right when he dies, spoilers. Um, I knew this movie was going to be better than I thought. And when he's like on the trolley looking around and he can't say anything and you're starting to learn what this movie's actually about. It's like this is awesome. And by the end of it, it was great. Loved the whole story. I like how it came together and had the warm fuzzies, and it was a romantic comedy that was old, but I had never seen another movie like it, and I will give this movie a solid B plus.
Hey, that's more than I expected. Actually, bringing this movie
Good for
out of
you.
the vaults, I could guarantee you, not very many people probably know and or have watched this movie. Ben being one of the people I know who has watched it before. Ben, what did you think?
Wasn't this like the 14th highest grossing film of 91? It wasn't. So I feel like this is one of the illustrious, used to be on HBO a lot when I had HBO as a kid, because I've seen it quite a few times, but I haven't seen it in probably over 20 years. Probably closer to
Fair.
30 at this point, really. Yeah, fond memories of it, watching it. I found it was a little slow, and I felt like it was honestly two movies. Like it was a people finding each other after they pass in the afterlife, but also the whole defending your life portion of it was its own story that really didn't mix well with him finding Meryl Streep. But still, really enjoyed myself and was glad I got to watch it again. I would honestly, and I put some thought into this, I'd make this a super solid C plus. Like if it was, I want to watch an old romantic comedy, I'd be like, I got a good one for you. Do you hate Jews? And then if the answer is yes, I wouldn't recommend it. But if they don't mind Jews, then absolutely watch
Slap it
this movie.
on. I mean, that's your first
Albert Brooks,
criteria. I don't
one
hate
of their
Jews. Let's
best.
watch this movie.
Yep, one of
I
their best.
I
Followed
just
up by
watched
History of the World Part 1.
So
I just
if you agreed with Russ at any point when we did his movie recommendation, which one was it, Ben? I can't remember.
The last one?
I don't know. There was two or three that he's liked Hitler. So if you agree with Russ on any of those movies, don't watch this movie.
I mean,
2 or 3.
The
That's
Bunker. What was it?
do we even have more than one that
Downfall.
was about Hitler?
Downfall. That's
Anyways,
the one.
Downfall.
I just looked up season 5, episode 6. No, season 6,
Nope,
episode
that
5.
wasn't it.
That's
South
I want to
Park.
say it was like
Not the
season
one.
15.
No,
Yeah,
he
you're gonna
said
have to come
season
back.
6. Season
Yeah.
6, episode 5. And it's the Terrence and Phillip movie trailer. It's like a trailer to their actual movie. And some other stupid idiot does movie reviews and reviewed this, and their name is Otterpop. Nothing smart like covered in film. And Otterpop has 12,900 subscribers. Fuck you, Otterpop.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Come over to
Wow.
our channel. You are butt.
Who do you know, Otterpot?
Yeah.
Give us some inside deets.
Actually, I shouldn't say that. You're probably pretty awesome. Just jealous.
Worked
I mean,
really
he's
hard
reviewing
for it.
South Park, and we're actually reviewing movies. Like, yeah.
Speaking of derailing things with like a side story, I just watched Between Two Ferns where Paul Rudd is on it. And I really liked when Zach Galifianakis asked him, how do you hide your Jewness so well?
Right. Could you give advice to any other actors who want to hide their Jewishness? Yes. Dude, Between Two Ferns is fucking genius in my book. The shit he does on that show. Have you seen the outtake of Brie Larson when I understand you don't like personal questions. Let me just ask you this: your parents divorced. Was that your fault?
Yeah, and she
Dude,
starts laughing.
So good.
I watched
Yes.
that, yeah.
Ouch.
Yep. Anyway, you
All
know
right.
who's not been on Between Two Ferns is Albert Brooks and Meryl Streep.
Or us.
Nope. Or us.
Come on,
Yeah, never
Zach.
been.
You know what else hasn't happened yet? My rate it and grade it. So
Oh,
without
Jesus.
further
We're
ado,
like 30 minutes in.
well, I mean, I like to give you guys room. It's amusing. It's like that scene where his attorney gives him room to talk about how he could tell a lie with his father, but the lie somehow brings forward the bond. Like that's what that little space was for you guys. Opportunity to, fill
Got it.
the space and
Got
bring
it.
the bond. I'm gonna have to agree solidly with Ben. With the, you know what? I honestly I can't even do that. Ben made his assertion that there's just two different movies, and I wholeheartedly agree. I feel like this movie was written as one thing and became another once Meryl Streep got cast. If you read the history on Albert Brooks and him writing it, and the process of Meryl Streep getting cast through a mutual affiliation through Carrie
Fisher. Princess
Fisher.
Leia.
Yes,
Underwood. Carrie Underwood.
This movie coming out immediately after Meryl Streep's role in Carrie Fisher's movie,
Postcards from the Edge.
Postcards from the Edge. it got too contrived. I feel like it would have been a much better movie if it was either one, a commentary on a differential afterlife from what is commonly accepted to be heaven, like the idea of being put on trial for your life was a unique, I think at the time, probably completely unforeseen concept of what heaven could be, what the afterlife could be. Albert Brooks
No,
wrote a lot in
sorry.
there about how multiple people contacted him over the years saying, "Oh, I'm about to die and this makes me feel better." Regardless, I'm getting off in the weeds. More conversation for later in the show. I'm gonna give it a C minus. It just
Whoa.
it's fun. I'm not a huge fan of Albert Brooks's style.
See,
his comedy doesn't do it
Yeah.
for me. That morose, depressed, self-deprecating delivery, while in certain moments it's funny, you get tired of it. It gets old. You're like, dude,
See, I
Put
find Ben
fucking-
Stiller funny, so I
put your
disagree
dick
with
on the
you.
table, man up, say something that's funny, in an aggressive
no, he's
way.
too much of an intellectual for that. Too much of an
whatever,
intellectual.
dude. He's
I
using too
really,
much of
I
his
mean,
brain. I'm only using 3% of my brain. So
right. Maybe you're no, maybe you don't get it.
this is true.
Yeah, I mean, Albert Brooks, he was the original Lonely Island for SNL. You know what I mean? Back when SNL was in its infancy, he made little short films that they showed on there. It wasn't necessarily done with a cast. He did his own thing, but he made these little sardonic looks into kind of everyday life. I feel like that's what his best niche is looking into everyday life and kind of examining the funniness of it. But he definitely does it in a very dry and somewhat slow burn kind of a way.
No,
He
sardonic
does
is
it.
the best description I've ever heard of his delivery. And it just
Mm-hmm.
gets old. Like if he'd have mixed it up halfway through the film to keep it rolling, like I'd have been with it. But what do you think, Russ?
Just reminds me of Jewish humor. Ben Stiller, Barry Seinfeld, just that like.
No,
Well,
come
I
on,
wanna
it's
I
do
Richard
that.
disagree,
Lewis.
dude. I disagree
It's
though
Richard
because
Lewis.
Jerry
It's
Seinfeld's delivery was so much more snappy.
well,
No,
I
that's
guess.
because he did the work to make himself one of the best stand-up comedians of all time by really honing how people respond to the cadence of a joke. But Albert Brooks is very much does what he does. And the other thing that I find is a little uncrediting about this movie is, do you think Albert Brooks, dead or alive, could actually score the attention of Meryl Streep? I don't know.
I mean apparently he
Kelly
did at the
says
time.
yes.
You
But
read the stories. I mean, for the time, like I feel like this was like the ugly people's love story. Like
Damn.
not to come down. No, I mean it is what it is. Meryl Streep
He's no
was
Ryan
a
O'Neal. Am I right?
powerhouse in her day, absolute powerhouse. Meryl Streep, you know, a, a national treasure. But at
I
this
would call
point,
her.
and then on the screen with him, I mean, it's a middle aged you died love story. It's not attractive.
I
whatever.
mean,
They did great. They just looked like
yeah, I don't
normal
know.
people. Honestly, she looks
I
better than a normal. Like she's better than average. And
yeah, I
I
didn't
just
feel like like he made her laugh, but his attitude was very sour. I don't know. I could have used like 20 more minutes of the Hall of Past Lives and a little less
that
of
was
just,
great, right?
dude, I when the lady is screaming at being a sumo wrestler, and then the little girl, what is this? Super
No, but
funny.
I agree with you
Super
though.
funny.
His delivery, because there's so many lines in this movie where his delivery just doesn't fit the joke. Like, I mean, for me, I mean, this is something you guys and I often disagree on. Where it's just like, man, that should have been delivered in a more confident tone.
See, and
And
I just disagree. I think there's different styles of humor, and not everything needs to be waiting. It doesn't need to be like hitting on 17-year-old girls with so much confidence as you talk about jizz all over the like everything.
I'm not
I
saying that, but like, she says, well, if you keep picking on me, I'm gonna get you. And he says, well, you already got me. But it's with this falling away body language and tone on screen. And it's like, that's not
You don't know anyone
whatever.
like that?
No, I know plenty of people like that. It's just not my style. You're not,
I don't know. I thought the story was good as a first time watch. Like when you don't see it coming, it's it was really refreshing and way better than You've Got Mail, which is basically what I thought this was going to be.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
right.
mean,
Right.
sorry,
interesting.
Tom
All right.
Hanks,
Yeah, no,
but
that's fair. That's a fair analogy.
like
You
this
know,
was a really fun
sorry,
story.
Well, what other movies were like this?
Fuss. I mean, it makes me
None.
think of Always. That's another movie about kind of afterlife with romance, a little bit, not exactly like this, but definitely in the same vein. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah, I can
Russ. I
see that.
wanted to ask, like, what do you think's? Because this is kind of one of my, believe it or not, for Albert Brooks, this is one of my favorites. Like his actual character, the jokiness of it, I kind of like it. But this versus this is 40 as Paul Rudd's dad. Do you feel like that's he's better in that, or do you like him in this more?
I think what you guys have touched on about his style, it reminds me of that Ben Stiller style. And I in This Is 40, he he has the confidence and that kind of delivery a little bit more. It's a little more true comedy in the way he's doing it, whereas this is a story with some comedy.
Oh,
And
it's
Yeah.
highly scripted. It's highly scripted. You
well, and
feel that, and where I agree with you, like what like the This Is 40. It feels like that just happened. Versus
I
you watch
yeah,
this, and
I
you're like,
guess it was just it's funnier and This Is 40. And he seems like he's really just he's done it so many times that he's the master of his craft in that movie at delivering his lines and speaking the way that he speaks, and just he has that very matter of fact depressing comedy style where he's just like, what are you going to do? The doctor said that she couldn't get pregnant and it was a 1 in a million chance, and now I've got twins and my life is over. And
see, I
That
feel
is a
like
pretty
I
funny
feel
part.
like the one role that I'm reminded of when I watched this was the guy who was the Jewish dad in Independence Day.
yeah,
It's we just talked about him the other
I
day.
can't remember. I can't remember his name, but like every
Judd
time I
Hirsch.
didn't right, I didn't realize it until I saw this movie. But every time I see this character or this actor, I think of that character because I want that character's little positive spin on that morose kind of fatalism. But he's always like, "Hey," you know, versus this guy's delivery where it's like, "Hey."
you know
Yeah.
where I think his
I
voice
mean,
where he's perfect is actually Nemo's dad in Finding Nemo. Like
yeah.
he's
Oh shit!
Gotta
I didn't
admit.
even realize. No, you're right.
Yeah,
That's
no, he's
100%,
phenomenal.
thousand
Phenomenal
percent.
voicing Nemo's dad. Yeah.
and he
Yeah, I feel like
sounds
he's Jewish comedian royalty, really.
yeah, he I really like the movie. Sonia really liked it too. And you know what? Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 97%. They suck sometimes, so
It
you can't
does,
trust them.
doesn't
But
it? Way to go,
yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes, for actually overestimating this one, because there's a lot of good to it. What?
First time Rotten Tomatoes has got a positive review on this show.
Yeah, I
Mark it
know. Every
on
other
the
time, it's like,
calendar.
who cares? They don't know anything. What?
Fuck the plebes.
What section of his life do you guys identify the most with?
Identify.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like where you're like,
most,
oh yeah,
most.
if that might be one of my few days if I was going through this. Like I can see, like being the kid and sticking up for your friend in class, and then your dad's like, "You're gonna have to figure out a way to pay for this. Punish me." Uh, he was gonna take away
I
TV. I love that
I
they
think
wanted to go out, and I got hooked. I thought that was such a good statement for a person to be like, I didn't want to have to depend on TV like I did. Uh,
Dude, there are
I
so
always
many
liked that part.
taglines you could have took from this movie for Generation X. So many taglines.
I think for me,
That being one of them.
when as you guys are aware, when we tried to, at least Ben and I, invest in like cryptocurrency and stocks and stuff, and I found that I was
Check out
really
Stewan.
really bad at it. I would have been the guy who said this company's not going anywhere with watches and invested my money in something stupid, and I
Paddle.
identified with that part.
That
Yeah.
lost their teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Lost their teeth.
Yeah.
Lost all their
The
teeth. I don't
Swiss
know.
keep time. Yeah, that was a good one.
What about you, Ben? Which scene was your carried the highest
Oh, I mean
correlation to what you might
the
have
ratting
seen?
out the friend as a kid, like you thought you'd do good, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, actual consequences. I don't know.
Wait, is that what happened with my 3-day suspension in elementary school? You fuck.
Whatever. You're never
This fucking
in
guy.
elementary school. Uh,
What about
$10.
Meryl Streep?
Say what?
$10.
What about Meryl Streep? What do you think of when you see her, or what do you like her in the most? I'll tell you mine because I just
Okay, go.
watched it.
I was gonna say because
I already know it. It's
I didn't
Mamma
even look
Mia.
it up. Mamma
Oh,
Mia. Nice.
well, mine is the Iron Lady.
Oh,
Sonia
I
and
thought
I
yours was
just
Mamma
watched it.
Mia.
No, you were guessing for me. Nope.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah. I know you
you guys
love
know
ABBA musicals.
you know how much I like old movies about political turmoil, but
I do.
That's fair. That's a
I
fair
do at
statement.
that.
I thought she was a really great Margaret Thatcher, and I thought that the movie was good, and it was something that I like watching. I just like watching shit like that.
Wow.
If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's free on HBO
Try it
right
out.
now.
And it's called The Old Lady.
The Iron Lady.
Oh,
How
Damn.
dare
Old
you? How dare
Ironsides.
you? Margaret
Old
Thatcher?
Ironsides. Yep.
Dude, Meryl Streep
You
is a
know,
freaking
honestly,
powerhouse. She's been around forever. What's your top role for her, Ben?
for Streep,
Yeah.
I consider her my mom's generation's goat. Like, I don't know if she's held on to the title this entire time, but she used to be the best actress in the world. I think honestly, it's funny. I think of her from two things. One of them's a bad movie that I've seen a lot of times, and one of them's Out of Africa that my mom really loved.
Right.
I don't know that I
Right.
ever remember sitting through that movie, but my mom loved it, and I remember her in Redford from it, and I think that was probably my first exposure to both of them. But Death Becomes Her, which is not a good movie, but I saw it many, many, many times for I can't tell you why.
That's really funny.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
you had a big brain, and that's the movie
I know,
you
right?
come up with, right?
You know, it was Goldie Hawn, Meryl Streep, and Bruce Willis. I'm in.
Welcome to the Little Brain Movie Review.
That's right.
honestly, for me, Devil Wears Prada, probably the most recent one that I could think of, but one that I hadn't thought of until I just started Googling it was Little Women. That was a huge role for her, and she absolutely brought the friggin' house down with that. Um,
She's
where was
also
the other one?
a Manchurian Candidate. She's the
That's the other
female
one I
lead.
was talking about, the Manchurian Candidate. She was a friggin' powerhouse in that one. And then Fantastic Mr. Fox. I'm surprised both of
Yeah,
you didn't bring that one
Yeah,
up.
I
I
was
mean
gonna say it.
that's
Mrs.
probably
Fox.
that's probably right there. Either number 3 or definitely in my top 5. Yeah, Mrs. Fox.
I
And to be
So
don't.
honest
good.
with you, I've only seen it
Contact.
once, but Postcards from the Edge is
Right,
an
really.
intense movie. I only seen it once. I couldn't even
Yeah,
honestly recall the majority of it, but we were watching as I was looking
that's
up,
pretty
doing the
funny.
research. I was like, oh shit, that's
Yeah,
no joke.
yep.
All right,
Carrie
when
Fisher,
you
Debbie
guys,
Reynolds.
Yeah, Russ.
Yep.
when
Russ was
Move.
interrupting with something
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah.
What?
We left
well, you said
space.
yeah. All right, something ridiculous. Wait, you put me on the spot.
Yeah, shoot, shoot, shoot.
So
What
there
about that
was
question you didn't get
guy.
to answer, Joe, from earlier?
Which one?
All right, now go ahead, Russ. You got something to say.
What's the difference between a lima bean and a chickpea?
Um,
The
they
garbanzo?
don't
No,
pay
no.
to lima bean on your face. Is it as funny when somebody actually has the answer?
Oh my god, that's funny as shit.
I don't know
Yeah,
what
it's a
I
really
was
good
gonna
joke.
say anymore, but that was funny.
That's pretty fucking good. What about
Whatever.
Rip Torn in this movie? Do you guys like Rip?
I've always
You
liked Rip
know,
Torn.
yeah, every time I see him in something, I always love seeing it. He was a wild guy too. Uh, crazy fucking guy, would just party like mad. Uh, I
His
feel,
name is Rip
I,
Torn.
That role was actually cast for like 2 other people that turned it down due to scheduling conflicts.
yeah,
He was third pick.
right.
Yeah. And
I
honestly, they
I love
won.
him.
They won with that guy.
Yeah, I really love him and stuff. I feel, I don't know, almost like it's too bad he got known as the Men in Black guy, but at the same time, like, good for him. Good for him.
I really like him in Men in Black, and that's like my original face for him. But I always think in my head, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Right. Patches O'Houlihan.
And I
Yep.
love to tell people, is it necessary that I drink my own urine? No, but it's sterile and I like the taste. And nobody ever gets it.
That's fucking great.
So
That's great.
Ben,
Yes.
are you
Present.
moving for are you moving forward? Like when you find yourself in the afterlife and you get on that tram and you get through that first night of really rough sleep and you get the most amazing meal and all you can eat, like are you moving forward? You feel like?
I feel like I'm probably too afraid,
Yeah.
if I'm just being honest. I feel like I've got 14 days to cover, and there is no saving somebody in a burning house and going back for a cat. Like, I love that that's what hers is. Like, they didn't even have to, just wanted to watch it again. So funny.
Yeah.
And then he's watching fucking folly, a montage of bad decisions. Like, dude, who they're all we not only
That was
have
so
days
good.
where we've got specific things to cite, we've just got a montage of you being a complete
Montage of
moron.
192
Yeah.
bad decisions on
I
the
love that
day
they
he's
just
got the
settle in.
substitute prosecutor day.
Yes. Yes.
The judge laughs when he falls off the
Mm-hmm.
roof trying to hang his freaking antenna. That was pretty good. That was pretty
Yes.
good.
Joe, do you move forward?
I'd really like to say yes, but karma's a bitch. That's going to be the name of my prosecutor is Karma. So probably not. I'll come back as a horse. I feel like that's appropriate. That was the original script for this movie. He was supposed to come back as a horse. That's probably going to be my fate.
Is that right?
Yeah, the original script when he originally wrote this movie, he had originally scripted for him to come back as a horse, but in the induction of Meryl Streep and his rewrites for her specifically as her taking the role and all of that, the romantic portion of the movie developed, and the happy ending got better feedback. People
Right.
like that better.
Yeah. They let him just open it up. He's not afraid. He's willing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably, honestly, a good idea. Because, like, looking at it today, sitting there, like, I enjoyed the movie as a first time watcher. Sonia watched it and she was like, I really like that movie. If it had just ended and he was a horse, I would have been like, that was weird.
yeah,
True.
no, it would have been.
True.
It's again, it's the comment Ben said earlier about two different movies. It started out as a commentary on the afterlife, and ended up as a romantic comedy. Russ, are you moving
Yeah.
forward?
I don't know. I was talking about it when we were watching it. I think if the moral of the story is not being afraid and like taking intelligent risks, I guess I would say that I'm good at that. But there's a lot of like
Well, because he got no credit for bold action, right? Like he was riding a friggin' snowmobile
yeah.
off a cliff and
Oh,
spent
she had a
friggin' what,
counterpoint
like
to
6 hours crawling back to like he got no credit for that.
I think just like I don't know, you making your own like carving your own career that you're really proud of into the world is something that I will carry with me and but I've been a pussy about a lot of things throughout my life and I look back on them and I'm like I'm not necessarily upset that I didn't do that thing, but maybe somebody else would be like, "Well, why were you afraid to cross the ropes course? Why didn't you just jump off the thing?" And I don't know. I was scared. All right, I was scared.
you jump off
Hey,
the thing.
hey,
That's what I'd say.
I
You
think
do
that's
it
the
and then tell me about it.
I think that's the beauty, the underlying message of this movie and why it's actually so enjoyable. Because it's really actually not a good movie, but the
Nah,
introspection
it's
that
not
it
a
makes
bad
you,
movie.
I mean, I bet it's not good, but it makes you think about your
A good movie.
life. It makes you actually look back and say, hey, what kind of a
Yeah,
person have I been?
what would I have to atone for? What would people show about me? Yeah.
And I
And
like
the
that they
fact his
don't.
lawyer the lawyer taking the fabricated, he's just taking what he's watching and he's drawing completely wild conclusions from it in order to actually defend him. And it's fucking ridiculous. It's like, of course you're going to lose. None of what he's saying is based in your actual feeling. It's all just, yeah, I
See,
feel
and
very good about the Bond thing or whatever he says. That's his
right, but
final comment.
and I feel like Brooks's the way it was scripted, Brooks's takes away from the point that it was trying to deliver, which because I love the part where Rip Torn come and did what you said, and he freaking took something and he completely repackaged it. And I feel like for
Mm-hmm.
me on this watch through, because I've seen this movie a dozen times, but in this time I watched it and I was like, man, is that really all it's about? Sometimes you just got to repackage the way you experience something and look at it from a
I would
different
say
angle.
with our modern court system, honestly, kind of, yeah. All you got to do is come up with a story, tell it convincingly in a court of law, and boom, you're good.
Have you guys ever lied to the police and gotten away with it?
Oh yeah, bunches of times.
It's not very
I
hard.
mean, have you ever told the truth to the police?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I've done that too. Yeah.
I'm reaching into my
Yeah.
glove compartment right now to get my registration. It's not a gun. It's telling the truth then.
It's
Telling the
under the
truth.
gun, but I'm still gonna get you the thing that doesn't shoot. It's just paper.
Hey, I told him I had a knife on my belt, and I still got to taste the paint on my trunk lid. They
Whoa.
didn't even let me, like, here, take it. Nope. Bam. Anyways, that's another story.
Is that because they were like, lick the trunk?
Lick
I
it
felt
real
like I was in a
good.
Trenton Tarantino movie for a minute. It was bad.
Yeah,
It
Sassoon
was
PD,
bad.
they don't fuck around.
No, this was in Sacramento, like friggin' like a mile from your house. What?
Did you know Ben's never left Sacramento? That's part of
Ah, it's a
That's
sad truth.
comedy.
But it's got
Comedy.
everything I
So
need. Why would I need to leave?
if you had to put one day up, so there's a moment in the trial and they say, Mr. whatever his name is, I want to say Mr. Brooks, is there anything you'd like to show? And you had the opportunity to pick the one day from your life that would get you into heaven. What's that day, Russell?
I mean, way to drop that on me. Probably one of the times. I mean, obviously, it's when I met Sonia. Um,
God, you're so married. And I love it. It's great.
no, it would probably be. I've done this more than once, but one of the times where I intentionally tried and succeeded in accelerating someone's career.
Nice.
There was probably like
Mm.
a pivotal day that brought it all together, and I'd pick that day. But I put some effort into growing people, and feel like some people did that for me, and I am paying it forward.
Nice. I fucking like it. What about you, Ben?
Good job. Way to go.
Oh yeah. That's some good shit. That's some good energy to put into the fucking world.
Yeah. Way to be. Inspirational.
Ben, anything? Nah, never mind.
Yeah. What
Joe?
you got? What you
Okay,
Skip.
got,
nothing.
Ben?
No, skip
Yeah.
me.
Skip. I mean, I chose not to jack off this morning, so that's that's gonna get me
If
through the pearly gates.
if nothing else, if nothing else, I was a suicidal, depressed young adult who had no direction in life, and Ben hired me and pretty much saved my life.
Hey,
Boom.
fucking dark horse, fucking Russ
The
coming through
day
with
that Casey
Ben's.
was like, I've got a friend who needs a job. And I was like, fuck, a friend of Casey's? All right, have him apply.
That's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
No, and I think the
beautiful.
first time we had an actual conversation when you were working and I realized you had actual work ethic and you cared about your mother, I was like, oh, okay, all right. He's not just Casey's friend. He deserves his own shot. So
His own
yeah.
store, even.
I
Bam.
cared about my mother. Now, wait, what did Casey say to you?
No, I'm just, who did Casey ever care about except just power? The power to ignore somebody who wanted help.
Holy shit.
Bam. Bam.
Do
It's
I
getting deep
lie?
tonight. It's getting deep tonight, boys.
That's a pure whiskey that he's drinking right there.
That's right. On ice.
I drink water. It's frozen and surrounded by whiskey, but I drink water.
That's right.
Joe, do you have a day?
Uh it's funny. I put you guys on the spot and I hadn't even considered this question. It just came up organically in the moment. But
Wow.
honestly, I would say I have hundreds of days in small little ways that I give back to the people I care about. I'm not a big contributor to charity. I am not the guy that gives the bum on the corner $5 every time he gets one. But I take care of my own, and I give freely of my time, my energy, and my money to those that I care about because I want to see them succeed in the world. And so I'd like to think that when I get to the end of this wild ride we call life, that the scales are going to be balanced in my favor.
Now, do you hope you go through a judgment like this?
No, that'd be great. I'd love to come back. This has been a great
All
ride. I
right.
want to do it again. Can I get? I mean, can I get can I get on the fast pass? Like, I'm pretty convinced.
No.
This movie was probably like the best possible outcome in my mind for what
Yeah,
the afterlife
I
could be.
I agree. I feel like I definitely felt comforted by like, oh, there's a chance. You're gonna be able to kind of be like, no, I'm a good person.
I do.
Uh,
The worst thing
let
that
me ask
happens
you.
is if you fail like 100 times, they eventually throw you away.
Right, just throw you away.
I throw
I
you
love
away.
it.
That
Yeah.
was good. Yeah.
Yeah, they just throw you away. All right, let me ask this, and I feel like you guys should have brought it up by now, and it's kind of fat shaming to make me do it, but whatever. If you could eat anything you wanted in any quantity you wanted without gaining weight, what do you think you'd probably tuck into and be like, I'm gonna do a full half an hour of just munching on this?
Fuck, dude. I mean,
Something that I could eat in a quantity like that would probably have to be some kind of barbecue. I think ribs. I could go for a long time on some really good ribs, and I
Mm,
have. I'd
dude,
like to say like pizza or a burger, but I think I get tired of
no.
those pretty quick. Sushi I could
yeah,
do for a while.
Right. Like, I like the sushi sequence. I enjoyed that there was that in this movie, especially at that time in the country. But man, honestly, like Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner, like or Easter dinner or
for
one of
sure.
one of those major holidays, like, dude, I'm always disappointed at Thanksgiving with how much I didn't eat. Like,
Uh,
I'm-
It's
that's
like
never
this is the
happened to
one
me.
day where I'm supposed to do it to show my love for God, and I just I didn't do it enough. Yeah,
Right?
dude,
Like,
ham
and I
and
was,
potato salad. I could. Yeah, Easter sounds good.
I
and
didn't
I couldn't believe it wasn't a spot in this movie, especially with
Yeah,
the
right.
reoccurring fucking plot of eat whatever you want. Like, how did they not throw the holiday meals in there?
I think hearing you say that, like I was thinking like one specific thing that I could eat a lot of, and I was thinking ribs. But if it's a whole cuisine, definitely Japanese. I could just keep going. Like, let's do that.
I mean, sushi's my hardcore second, like, because I will put some friggin' fish away.
Can I just go into Morimoto and order everything on the menu over and over?
Everything. They'll just drop it right in front of you. Like, the only part that would have made that offer better is eat whatever you want and never get full.
Right.
Dude, they'd have had to drag me out of the fucking restaurant to go to my fucking appointment.
Be like no face
No,
and Spirited Away and shit.
no.
When we go camping and do the barbecues that we do, that is some of the best food that I ever eat is just like fire roasted tri-tip with potatoes, like trout that we caught out of the river and a
Yeah,
salad.
that's pretty dope when Logan comes back with the freshly caught trout.
Yeah.
Got to admit, like that is some just
That's
satisfaction right
like
there.
not going camping with him is just you're missing out on that. He just
And
spends his entire time. He's like, he wakes up in the morning. This is what I'm doing. Bye.
Yep.
Comes back and he's like, I just
Yep.
want you to eat it. That's all I want.
sign me up, dude. Sign me up.
We should
I'm
try.
on. I'm on.
I got a few
Any
other trips to make. I'd love to do
any
a camping trip though, but it's got to be at least
closing
fourth place.
Closing sentiments, like and subscribe.
Closing. I already headed to closing. Who's hosting this fucking show? Jesus Christ.
Well, I don't know.
You guys
Ben?
talked briefly on the relief that this movie gave you for a concept of heaven. And it's funny because actually Albert Brooks has talked his most often reference when asked about this movie or interviewed about this movie is the number of communications that he got from people thanking him for reducing that stress, either people that had family members dying or people that even were dying, and looking forward to what comes next. And I wanted to know for you guys and your upbringing and all that, what comes next? Like is this a peace of mind, or is this scary? Ben,
Fuck you.
I dumped it on Russ last time. I'm gonna dump it on you this time. Ben,
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
you know, is this a comfort?
Who do you think you are? Come on,
I'm
Zia.
just
Let's
talking
go
about
back.
a
Come on.
movie, man. I mean, you know, you tell
Oh, the
me how
movie.
you feel.
I mean,
I can do it if Ben doesn't want
yeah, I gotta put the dog up.
I mean, I could open.
Crate time for the puppy.
For me,
No, I mean, I want there to be something else. I was just watching a show where they talk about, energy doesn't go away; it just transfers. We're all matter in the universe,
Right.
and ever expanding. I'm gonna go vomit. And I'll be right back. Russ, hang on. I want to hear what you say.
very
No, it's
scientific experiments.
You know what I saw the other day was somebody had put a picture of like the normal sun in the middle and the planets are going around it. People think this is what the universe is, and then it turns it on its side and it's just hurtling through space. And it's like, this is what it actually is. And I was like, I don't enjoy that at all. There's
think
not a
about
bit of
you-
that where I'm like, cool.
Every time I see something or hear something that talks about Earth and our place in space, I'm like, oh God, Ben would throw up right now.
Oh, dude. It's like I stopped the other day and just kind of breathed in and was like, it's so fucking weird to be that this is even here. But the fact that something exists tells me that, there's likely a higher power out there that did something and created the Big Bang.
It's the Rindaloo.
Yeah. Yeah, the Rendaloo. They're the ones. Skippy is the one.
It's the
What
old
about-
one.
Oh, yeah,
What-
write
what-
the book.
What about you, Russ? What are your
I was raised Christian in like junior high or something. I stopped doing that, and it's not that I deny it or anything, but there's so much information out there, and yet there's so much we don't know, and I don't know. And to say I believe something, in my opinion, if you believe it, that means that you're 110% sure that there's no alternative. And I just don't feel that way about anything. And so
Nothing. Not even breakfast cereal.
yeah, we could be in the Matrix right now. I am not 100% sure that the Matrix isn't real. And so breakfast cereal might not exist.
Boom, I just inceptioned you.
I just said my
Damn.
follow-up
You didn't
question
even know
is this movie more believable than Inception?
Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think it is
Hell yeah, it
actually.
is.
But
that's fucking crazy.
I guess when it comes down to it, like my gut tells me we just rot in the ground, but I don't know. I really hope that doesn't happen.
I feel like science has come a long way to kind of debunk faith, to make faith seem silly. And it's unfortunate to me. It's unfortunate. But
so
just like ignorance being bliss, like the more you know, it doesn't make things better.
so to close out the segment on this particular
Like,
portion,
subscribe, existential dread.
like, subscribe, yeah. Now that you're all questioning your upbringing, and what's going to come after the darkness finally finds you, uh, you know, what is it you're going to be? And I think it comes down to, what do you believe? And I'm gonna wax scientific just a little bit, but we observe 1/1000th of the observable world as far as light wavelengths, right? Like, so a light wavelength, we can only see 1/1000th of it. We only experience on a physical level atoms that are positively or negatively charged to coincide with the hertz frequency that we exist within.
Prefer enterprise frequency.
Our impact and existence in this universe, as we've defined it, is so infinitesimal that, dude, believe whatever the fuck you want to believe, man. Whatever makes you sleep at night, whatever helps you get through the day, absolutely, dude. Double down on that shit.
Yeah. I want to be able to do that so that I can not fear death.
I mean,
but I can't, because belief, again, it's like what you actually, no matter what you want, it's what you believe.
Well, so there's a prevailing underlying theory in modern mainstream science that the world is what you believe, that we all shape
like
our
orcs.
own existence.
Yes.
Like orcs. I was gonna say, I think that's being a sociopath.
I mean,
my dream last night, I had a dream and it was like that. It was like anytime my brain just put a thought together, it would happen in the dream. And I told you guys, but why not share it with the viewers? I ended up, I didn't tell you guys this part. I was me, but there was like this point in I don't know, like I was looking down at myself and I actually was Daniel Craig and I was fighting. I was fighting like young versions of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. And we were in a Home Depot, and this Home Depot had like it had the tallest ceilings you've ever seen. The tallest ceilings you've ever seen. And we had jetpacks. And we were on the top of all the aisles. Like I was
the
trying
next Knives Out movie.
I was trying to knock over the aisles on top of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck because I was flying up really high, but I could still fly higher because the roof was so high. But then I'd go down and I'd be like, I'm going to get this machete from the machete aisle of Home Depot and I'm going to chop Matt Damon's arm off.
It's all machetes.
And I would cut him and then he'd just show me he'd hold his arm up and it would just heal. And I'd be like, fuck, these guys are going to kill me. And then I woke up at some point and it was like 5:30 in the morning and I almost texted both of you immediately like, let me tell you about my dream. And I'm so glad I remembered it.
It sounds like that was just death letting you know that there's no escape.
Hey, if that's how I go out, that's all right.
Like Jason Bourne and Batman coming at you. Terminator, Batman.
I try not to think about it, but it crosses my mind every once in a while. How am I going to leave this earth? And it's not ever pleasant or a fun thought. I can only hope that as I get closer to that day, I make my peace with it. But I'd much prefer to go out rooting around in my floorboards for a CD.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else? I feel like I've been waiting for a good time to
I was waiting
cut
for
it,
you
and
to
I
cut
probably
it
missed
when.
it.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to cut it in the middle of Russ's diatribe, and then I gave you a perfect outer, and you just let it slide. So here we are,
So
defending your cut.
that's right.
Click
Like,
the link.
subscribe. We'll see you next week.